Good afternoon, Australia. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. And yes, I have a guest that's coming on soon. My brother from America. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to the people that's living in Melbourne. Hopefully everybody's staying safe and keep well. And enjoy the weekend. I will get my guest on. Shout out to CURWON. Hang on. Hey, how are you, brother?
What's going on?
Nothing much. And thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for coming in. And I know what time it is over there. It's 1 a.m. I think.
1
I'm guessing.
a.m. Yeah.
How's the family? How's everyone?
Everyone's good. Everything's
That's
starting to open
good.
up over here, so,
Yes,
getting back
that's
to
good.
life.
Before we start, do you want to introduce yourself
Yeah,
first?
sure.
So,
Can you hear me? I just want to make sure
yeah.
because I got my AirPods in. All right, cool. So my name's Corey, better known as CURWON. It is my actual Instagram handle is the first three letters of my first name, the first three letters of my last name. So it is me in together, So it's my original name. I'm from New York and I love sneakers, as you can probably see.
Do you want to actually you want to tell everybody about your YouTube channel before, so everybody can follow that as well and see your YouTube channel?
Sure. So I am one quarter of four people. We're a collective sneaker enthusiast group that we do live events in New York City mainly, but we also started creating some content on the websites like YouTube and on our social media platform. It's called Kick Your Game. So the Instagram handle would be at underscore kick your game, KICKYOURGAME. And yeah, we put
Make
out some really cool content. We like to stay true to ourselves and only put out things that we really love working on and love doing. So
mm, make sure you guys follow that. Whoever's not following,
yeah,
and
it's in my bio. So if anybody wants to go check out my page and they'll see it, Kick Your Games right at the top. I usually tag them in my the page and my photos as well. So please check that out. We have we dropped a lot of content over the last few months. So and we do have a podcast on YouTube called Kick Chat. Shout out to Sneaker D and O. Those guys, they run our podcast really well, and we're excited to move forward with possibly a season 2. So so
keep
we
up
have
the
12.
good work, guys.
Yeah,
Keep up the good
it's a
work.
lot, but it's a lot of fun too.
Yes, that's it. I want to ask the first question. What is your favorite sport?
So I'm a hooper. I love basketball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Did you watch the Clippers game?
I actually just finished watching it. Yeah.
I'm
I
a
was
Paul
just
George
watching.
fan, by the way.
Oh, he's all right. I mean, I'm a fan of his as well. I mean, his sneakers are great for balling, so
Mm,
I definitely I do own a couple of pairs. So really dope shoe
nice, nice.
and good player.
Did you get the latest one with the PS5,
I
the
did not.
collaboration?
No, I do like the PG5s. They honestly they look awesome, but
Mm,
not being able to play indoors the last
yeah,
year, I haven't really.
true.
The only sneaker I did buy for basketball specifically was the Cosmic Unities that I posted on my page.
Mm,
So those are going to be specifically strictly for indoor ball until I retire them to wear them outside.
nice, nice. And
Yeah.
what's your favorite team?
I don't have a favorite team. I'm more of a player. I watch players. So all
Who's
throughout
your
the
favorite player?
Michael Jordan. Yeah, I
Oh,
have to say that. He'll always be my favorite basketball player. Next would be Kobe, because after Jordan,
mm,
I kind of, I latched on to Kobe and the Lakers. So, but yeah, definitely MJ.
yes, yes. Um, the second question I have is, what's your first ever pair that you owned before you collecting, or when you started collecting?
So this was, and I love this question. So this is a question from that I would not be able to totally answer because I would not remember that part of my life. Yeah, so I started collecting really young, and playing
Mm,
sports was that muse. I do have some, I thought about it. I have some photos, from when I was really young, like, s- times that I
mm.
probably wouldn't remember. And
Yeah.
they were like Delta Forces, like,
Nice, nice.
Revolutions, like a lot of high tops because it was the early 90s. So, like that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Mm.
and then I obviously transitioned into like the Grant Hill Filas in '96,
Yeah, the
Pippins,
fillers.
Jordans.
Yeah,
So
Pippins.
I was wearing a lot of Team Jordans when I was really young in my single digits. But going into my teens, that's when I started really heavily collecting, and that's when I got into Jordans like crazy. It was just everything Jordan brand or
Nice,
Nike.
nice.
But yeah, like mostly we'll get. I'm sure we'll get into more of those types of questions later on.
um, all right. This year, right? What is your top 10 sneakers for this year?
This year, so I actually wrote this down because I didn't want to forget or leave something out. But I went like with a general, because
Release,
2021's
yeah.
not, it's not complete. We're
It's
like
not finished
halfway,
yet.
so there's a lot to come out, and I know there's going to be a lot of LeBrons and stuff like that too. So,
Yeah.
um, which I did pick up a pair of Miami Nights. I'm excited to release
Wow.
those to the public, some photos. But I would go with neutral gray ones just because it's an OG, and I'm a big fan of OGs.
Yes.
Cool Gray threes, UNC ones and fours, the Aman Manier threes. Um,
Yeah.
I wrote down here the Griffey Fresh Waters, Carmine sixes. I'm gonna include every dunk into one shoe. But my top one would be the What the P Rods, which I'm still searching for. If anybody out there wants
Mm.
to help me out, I'm a size 9. Um, Tuned Max OG the Air Maxes that came out in that original colorway. And I loved the ready-made Blazers, and I'm not going to forget any of the Kobe's. So, like, all of those for me were probably, I mean, that's almost everything, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah, there was some really good releases this year, and I think the quality on them were pretty awesome too.
Was
So,
good, yes.
nothing to complain about there.
Mm. Exactly right. And for my other questions, this one, what is your favorite memories of sneakers?
So, I love these questions are great. My favorite memories of sneakers always has to do with like other people, right? So my connections and my unity of meeting people and networking. So I started
Yes.
really young in the industry, actually working for sneaker stores. Um,
Wow.
I've been around sneakers probably more than half my life, whether it's collecting or actually working in the field. And I currently do that now. So this is my
Mm.
career. This is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to make an impact on the sneaker community in some way, shape, or form, and try to do it in a positive way. But
Mm.
that really has been my muse to meeting some of my best friends, people that I call family, and
Mm.
for me that those memories, and they include obviously individually, sitting on lines with people, camping out for sneakers when I was really young, going and making sure that I was with my friends all the time, and we all love sneakers.
Mm.
So whether it was talking about sneakers on the court, playing ball when I was a kid, or just like I said, making some of these connections that have been lifelong. I one of my best friends in the world, it's because I met him. He walked into the store I was working in, at the time.
Yeah.
We talked for about 5 minutes,
The
and then
same
next thing you know,
passion. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Next thing you know, he was stuck with me for the rest of his life. So till this day.
Mm. Hey, baby. You say hello.
Hey,
That's our brother Carwin. Yeah. They're
how
getting
are
ready
you?
for dance.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me finish. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
And okay, this other question is your favorite collaboration sneakers ever released.
Okay. So I picked two. My favorite of all time is going to be the Eminem Jordan 2.
Wow, yeah, that's tough.
Nobody even like probably everybody's like forgetting that Eminem did a collab with Jordan like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But Eminem Jordan 2, just because it's got the way I am lyrics on the side and the detail. I actually had an opportunity to buy them back
mm.
in the day because they released only on a website called Flight Club. So
Oh
if
yeah,
you were,
yes, yes, I
you
remember
remember,
that.
so that
Yeah,
Jordan had this own website called Flight Club before there was a Flight Club, consignment shop.
yeah.
They had a Flight Club website, and I had access to it. I don't know.
Wow.
I must have done like wrote in somewhere or wrote, signed up for something when I was younger, and
Yeah.
I got an email, I got a letter saying, here's what you have to do to sign up and sign in, and I did that, and unfortunately, I didn't have the money. I just couldn't buy them, so I was like,
Mm.
all right, I guess I'll wait, or whatever, and they did not sit for long. That was like,
Mm.
the first of the online website, sales, so it was interesting. I'm upset that I didn't obtain a pair, but because they're worth so
Yeah,
much
they
now, but
it's worth so much now. Yes, exactly right.
thousands of dollars. So yeah,
Mm.
that's my favorite collab shoe. And then I actually just recently obtained my second favorite, or what I would equate to it would be my Dave White Jordan ones. The
Wow.
collab that he did with those. So he's one of my
Mm.
favorite artists. When he was coming out with all the drawings of the Jordans and the
The
threes and the
Jordans,
fours,
yeah.
I was a big fan, and thankfully he's actually commented on some of my photos with those, and I've connected with him over the years. Really amazing guy, very down to earth.
Nice, nice.
So yeah.
And this is my other question is top 10 of all sneaker on your collection.
So you could probably see in the background here that I have a
Yeah.
vast variety of different boxes.
Yeah.
So
You do.
here's what I'm gonna do with the top 10 of all time. I'm not gonna give you a list of individual colorways and silhouettes. I'm gonna go by Jordans. I'll give you the top five Jordans actual silhouette without colorway.
Yeah.
It goes one, three, and this is an order of actual, chronological. 1, 3, 4, 11, and 13. I do love that anything after a 14. 14 is one of my favorite sneaker too, but Jordan, I love all Jordans, even including Team Jordans.
Mm.
Air Maxes, my favorite Air Maxes are going to be ones, 90s, 95s, 96s. And there's, a couple of different, like the Tune Max is one of my favorite. I just love the shape and colorway, some of the colorways on those. Um, I love dunks. I'm a big dunk fan, so I'm going to give you that. We'll just leave it at that because we can be here for days talking about that. You know, and I'm a big, so I was born in 1990, so I'm giving my age a little bit, but I love the 90s era. That's a big part of me and
Mm.
my sneaker history. So any like runners or Zoom Air from from the early 90s to mid 90s, always for me is like really dope. So I love to see them come back out. But they don't really come back out as often as we like.
No,
So,
that's
you
not
know,
awesome yet.
so I definitely have to say, like, I just love the way those were shaped and the colorways, the Volt greens and oranges, just
Yes.
fire to me. Um, and then I think I have to put in there that like I love up tempos within that same breath, right? So like any of the up tempo mores or any of the older up tempos, the flights.
Mm.
Um, I do have. It's funny because someone reposted it recently, like today or yesterday. For you yesterday. Uh,
Mm.
and for me, I guess too, it's 1 a.m. But they posted a pair of Air Force 3s. Now, I'm not big on Air Force 1s. I do own a few.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2s really didn't do it for me, but the Air Force 3s for me are just killer. The upper on them,
The
the
soul, yeah.
soles are great. So I posted those a little while back, and they still get love to this day. So it's really dope
Mm.
to see some of the people in the community starting to see like some of the older stuff, the vintage stuff that people don't really care about right now. They're all about Jordan
Mm.
ones and whatever Travis
Yeah.
Scott and,
Oh,
and
yeah,
those guys are
Travis
doing.
Scott and all
You know,
that. Yeah.
so
All the hype shoes.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, and I love Kobe's and LeBron's. I always hooped in either Kobe's or LeBron's. So that
Oh
was
yeah, I was gonna ask. Did you see that post about Vanessa? About that
I
guy having the pair of the
yeah, I
Kobe?
did. And I'll be honest, I'm very sad, for the situation.
Mm.
I don't it's not something that should, I think a lot of speculation is happening, right, in the community. A lot of people are
Mm.
talking about it and they're, making assumptions or saying, whatever. We don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. So, you know,
Yes.
I'm sad for her not having them before they release to
Mm.
other people on
Before they
accident,
release. Mm.
so that's unfortunate. And it's a tragic situation. So we don't really, unfortunately, when certain things like this happen, we don't really know how to handle them, um,
Mm. That's
or
true.
what to, the right things to say or to do and how to act. So, I think we're all trying to learn and grow, and be there for them, their family and the legacy more or less. But it's just
Yeah.
it's a tough situation. Somebody in the comments said it should never have happened. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree. I
I
agree.
just I don't like to talk like on the political side of things with that kind of stuff. Especially with Nike. But I understand how people could feel for sure.
Especially for the number one fans out there,
Yeah,
especially for the ones that want them sneakers too.
I haven't hit on a single pair of Kobe's in the last year, and
Mm,
I've tried for every one of them. I've gone out for them, uh, and I would pay resale if they were reasonable, but unfortunately they're not. My personal
mm,
opinion on that, I'll be honest and be very transparent there is I don't believe that a StockX, a GOAT, or any of these platforms should actually be able to resell Kobe sneakers. If someone
that's
wants to
true.
sell them to you, outside of that situation, go right ahead. You want to make your money and you want to have a price that's driven by whatever, that's great.
Mm,
But they should not be on platforms at all, unless
that's
it's
a
like
good one. Mm,
keep helping first and foremost get people who really are a fan to get those
mm.
shoes, right? So that's just my opinion, but nothing's gonna
No,
change.
it's good. That's a good opinion. No, that's good. It's actually, this soon as when he passed, when that tragic happens, all his shoes has gone up the market, right? And a lot of people has been reselling him. And you're
Right.
right. Like most of these people, like StockX and all that, they shouldn't have those kind of like let him resell it.
So if you want, I'll share some personal with you when it comes to Kobe. At the time, I was actually managing a Nike store.
Mm,
I currently don't, but at the time I was when he passed away. Actually, I was in the store on that day when he passed away, and
mm,
we had a TV in the break room, and I recall walking into the break room and everybody was quiet. There was a bunch of people in there. Everybody was quiet. I was like, all right, this is unusual. Normally it's rowdy and loud. I walk into my office, and one of my co-managers actually looked at me and said, you're never gonna believe what happened.
mm,
So, he pulls up on his phone some of the news, and I go out and I change the channel to ESPN. We start watching, and I walk back into the store, and you could hear a pin drop. It was silent. Like there was
mm,
a bunch of customers, there was a lot of people. Unfortunately, we had certain people that were like going crazy for some of the Kobe product that we had. Um, and right after that day, like at that moment, we had to kind of slow it down and pull it off the shelves. We were told to, remove everything. They didn't want to sell anything that had his name or his likeness attached
mm.
to it, which is the right thing to do at the time. But
It is.
it
Yeah.
was like it was so incredibly sad in the store. You felt like
Mm,
customers that didn't even like you would never even think knew,
mm,
like, and they were sitting there like, oh, are you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, like obviously we all worked for Nike, so it was a big ordeal.
mm.
Like we care about the brand,
We
we care
feel
about
that.
the people who
Yeah.
are sponsored by the brand, and I still
Mm.
do to this moment. Um,
Yeah.
but that was an incredible feeling to be a part of that, like in that moment. It was a rough day, like it was really tough for all of us.
Mm. The whole world actually known him for that, for that day. Everybody loved him, and it
Yeah,
showed how much respect he got, even for the people that myself. I wasn't a Kobe fan, but the when that day came, I was hurt, for someone that's had the talent and been you can have your life cut out just like that.
yeah, it's really sad. It's
It's
crazy to
sad.
see how he affected so many people. I was
Mm,
blessed to have seen him play live. One time I was able
mm,
to see him play live
nice.
at Madison Square Garden. So, I recall those memories for sure. And I think a lot of people, they look back and they say, all right, I was able to see him, or I was able to meet
Yeah.
him, or unfortunately I never met Kobe Bryant, but you know, his Mamba mentality and all that, it still sticks, and I think it sticks for a lot of
Mm.
people
And for the younger generation as well,
for sure, for sure.
for the
If they don't
NBA
if they
players.
don't know, they need to learn.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, that's exactly right. And for my last questions, right? Have you got a message for this young generation just coming up to collecting,
Well,
having the
yeah,
same passion as we do?
yeah. I mean, I have a massive message to send. I don't know. Uh, I try. Well, I'll start off by saying I think I try to convey the message that I always, or what I'm gonna definitely refer to later on, is everything I do on my pages. I try to be transparent. I try to be honest. Um, and I try to show my passion through photos, but also sharing some
Mm.
of my stories within my captions. And I like to think that my page tells a story, not only a
Mm.
story of necessarily just my life, but the life that's around me and the
Mm.
experiences that I've had. So I
Yes.
really, I love sneakers. I've always have since I was very young. So now being an adult, making this my career, making this a focus and a focal point of my life, I live and breathe this every single day. I woke up today and it
Mm.
started out with doing something with sneakers, and then all right, I went to the gym and then I went and I actually bought a pair of sneakers, and then came
Yeah.
home and so it's like
Mm.
there's never it's a minimum of 5 to 10 moments in a day that it has to do with sneakers, and then the rest would be family and friends, but and then my responsibilities, but it's all about shoes for me, and it has nothing to. So the message I'm going to convey to the kids or the younger sneaker heads, if you want to call them, I call myself a sneaker enthusiast because not only do I love sneakers, but I love the history and every story that comes with it.
Mm.
Like the stories behind every single. There's a story behind every single shoe, whether you know it or not. There's still a story. Someone
Yes,
designed
there's
it
still a
somewhere.
story.
And it's got some type of purpose, and somebody thought up the idea. So that idea is a story.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I really love that. So,
And the experience that comes with it.
yeah. And I'll be honest, like I've been a part of certain experiences where, Chris, I bought the Waffle One. Actually, I bought them from his store. So,
Oh,
shout
nice,
out to you,
nice.
Chris. Thank you. Um, but yeah, I don't know where I started. I got cut off. Thanks, Chris. Um, what was I saying? So,
The
the
message, yeah.
message, yeah, yeah, and everything. So, for me, it's like being a part of some of those stories or being involved in some of them at some point in my career here. It's been extremely, extremely humbling, but it's also like again, it's made me network, it's made me build, it's brought on friends that I'll have for a lifetime. So, you
Mm.
know, really, that's my message is stay true to yourself. Don't do what
Yes.
other people say, do what you want. I buy the shoes that I like, not what you like or what anybody else
Well,
does,
mm.
and obviously don't live above your means. If you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, I think that's also an extremely terrible thing to do. So financially,
Yes.
be smart and invest your money. Even though sneakers is an investment, it's definitely something like I wear my shoes. I don't buy them to resell.
Yes.
It's I collect, and if I'm not buying them to put on my feet, they're going to be showcased or sit in the box until I figure out what I want to do with them. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like that's me, and I think it's important for the younger crowd to go after the things that if you like a color, if you like a style, or if, create your own style and
Exactly
don't
right. Yeah.
and create your own lane. Like
Your
we don't
line. Yeah.
we want to see the next people that are going to be the next group of designers and the people who are going to influence.
Mm.
And I like to think that I influence in the right way, and um like I said, obviously share my passion, but really just influence people to be themselves.
Be themselves. Yeah.
There's no one else in this world but you. You're one of one. There's no carbon copies. Like do
Yeah.
you and be you. So that's kind of like, and again, like kicking it back to how I run my page and the things that I do on my page. Lately I've been trying to be funny, and post some reels.
You're doing a good job though. I want to say that.
uh,
Keep up
you
the
know,
good work. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
good work.
So I'm
We're
trying to be
always
funny.
I'm
I'm trying to be.
we're always checking up your page all the time. Love your pictures.
Thank
Big
you.
fan of your
So
pictures.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. It's a lot of work. I do it all by myself on an iPhone. So
Well, you're doing a good job.
thank you. I appreciate it.
And hopefully, before we go, I just want to say thank you very much, and thank you for the support, and thank you for being on the Lex IGTV, and hopefully to get you back on on the future again for
For
the
sure.
for the season
Thank you for
upcoming.
having me. I definitely appreciate this. I think, this is awesome. I watched your other lives and they were really excellent. So I will be circling back and following some of those guys
Thank you.
because I haven't had a chance, but I definitely will do that. And, anytime anytime you want to get on live or anytime you want to do this again,
Yes.
I'd be more than happy. Definitely.
All right, my brother.
All right,
Send
man.
my love
Thank
to
you.
the family. Yeah,
Definitely.
you guys
Same
always
to
stay
you.
safe. And thank you very much.
And anybody in Australia, if you got, want to hit me up, my DMs are open. I love talking and chatting about kicks. So hit me up.
There you go, guys. All
All
right,
right.
guys, we're off from now, and see you guys next time. Much love.
Later. Peace.
Later.